I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.
There are two types of people in this world. The people who manage to escape the old identity and the people who keep staying stuck in the loop that they didn't even know existed. Now, have you ever wondered why some people manage to get all the things that they're working towards and some people never get anything, but they're doing the exactly same work, they're putting as many hours as possible and they still stay stuck? It's because of the old identity. And if you don't know what the old identity is, well, then this video is for you, because in today's video, I'm going to break down everything about the old identity and how to get out of it and how to take all the hard work that you've been doing to see results. There are two things that's always going to keep the old identity alive. And the first thing is your environment. And a great way to give an example of this is, for example, let's say that you had a girlfriend and you broke up with her, and it's a song that reminds you of your old girlfriend. And every time that you play it, you start thinking about her. You start getting the thoughts, you miss her, you want to text her, you want her to go back. And that song is what's keeping the old identity is alive. Now, replicate what I've just told into everything. Do you have a smoking past? Did you smoke a lot before? What songs did you listen to then? Because if you listen to those songs, you will start getting the same thoughts, the same mindset, the same, actions, because the songs has so big parts. And then the last thing in your environment is the people you hang around with. You've probably heard the saying before, but if you hang around with 4 smokers, you're going to become the 5th. So if you hang around with people who are doing the things that you're trying to leave, you're always going to be the person who they are. And you need to understand that. And if you don't have friends, if you don't have people who are on the same mission than you, then you need to, separate yourself for a period of time. For example, when I started my journey, I separated myself from everyone because no one was on this mission. I had one friend. Everyone else didn't want to change. So I knew that, okay, if I am with them, I'm going to do the exact same thing as them. So I separated myself. For 3 months, I didn't talk to no one. I was grinding. I was, really building myself. And after those 3 months, I met them. We had a nice time, but something had shifted because I was not the same person anymore. So I didn't relate to the same things. So naturally you separate. And you got to realize that if you don't want to leave your friends, you will never change. And you got to prepare to be bad. And there's a reason why not everyone can change and can get the things that we initially want. It's because, it takes courage, it takes sacrifice in order to get these things. And it's not like you need to sacrifice your finger. You need to sacrifice a part of your old self in order for the new self to grow. Alright, what's up you sexy cunts? Sorry for disturbing you in the middle of the video, but I'm hired by 6-figure entrepreneurs to scale their businesses. And if you're an entrepreneur making around 20 to 80k a month right now, and your business has hit a revenue ceiling, and you have tried all the systems, all the frameworks, and all the funnels, and the number still doesn't move, then it's not a business problem, but a you problem. You have to kill the old identity. And that's exactly what I do when I get hired by 6-figure entrepreneurs. If you're interested in learning more about what it is that I do, then just go and book a call. My Calendar link is linked down below. This is not for people, this is not for entrepreneurs who have just started the entrepreneurship journey. Mate, in that beginning phase, just push and pull and you'll find what's not working and what's working. This is for entrepreneurs who already have a sustainable business and want to scale that. See you cunts, back to the video. Now, let's dive closer into the old identity. The old identity is an entity. Because when you're creating someone new, when you're starting doing new things, you create a new box. And this entity, your old identity, he doesn't want to die. So he will always give you negative thoughts. He will always try to make you go back. And the thing is, he succeeded. That's the reason why you never really can get the things that you want. And how I want you to think about this is that you are a horse and you have just escaped the stall. You have been in this stall your whole life and you've finally escaped. And you're a free horse now and you're running around the field. Now the thing is, the cowboy, which is your old identity, doesn't want you to leave. So he jumps on another horse and he starts chasing you. And he has his lasso and he's thrown his lasso at you and managed to pull you back. Now, bear in mind, guys, if the cowboy managed to catch you, managed to throw a lasso at you, that doesn't mean that all your progress is gone. And I want you to remember that. All your progress is not gone just because you relapsed. And it's very important that you understand that. Because sometimes when this happens, when you do the things that you know you shouldn't do, we can become very, very ashamed of ourselves. And here's the thing, that is the old identity's job. He wants you to feel regret. He wants you to feel shame. He wants you to feel negative emotions because the old identity strives of negative emotions. So if you become upset because you did something that you know you shouldn't do, you just get pulled more closely to the old identity. So in the process of changing, in the process of killing the old identity, you kind of need to become emotionless. And I'm going to give you some hacks now on how to completely leave the old identity and how to completely become a new person and pursue the things that you want. But before I go on and talk about that, I want to talk about the operator. The operator is my community on school, which is not only a community full of other young men hustling, ambitious, striving, building a new life. It's also a course built for you to drain the old identity, build your new identity, and pursue things like fitness and money. We have 4 classrooms in there. Step number 1, which is creating your new box. Step number 2, which is draining everything from your old identity. And step number 3, your fitness journey. And 4th, and most important, the money classrooms. Now, I want you to go and join the operator. It's linked down below. And I'm gonna continue now talking about the tips on how to break free from your old identity. Now, as I mentioned inside the operator, I have a classroom about creating a new identity and building this box that you want to live in. And that's actually the first step that I'm going to talk about now. Because if you don't know where you want to go, the person where you want to be, you're going to fall back into the old identity. And it's so fucking scary to know that, right? Because most people, we have dreams, we go to bed, it's like, yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna wake up early, I'm gonna go to the gym, but it's like you don't really know what you're working towards. And one of my favorite sayings is like, a ship without an end destination is destined to sink. So if you don't know where you're gonna go, what's gonna happen? You're gonna fall back to what you know. So how do we create this new identity? Well, we ask ourselves these questions. What is it that I want to do in the future? When it comes to occupation, work, is it business? What is it that I want to do? And when you ask yourself this question, how do I want to look? Not just in physical wise, but like clothes wise, hairstyle, my physical appearance, how do I want to look? And when you write that down, I want to look this way, I want to have this clothes style. And when you're writing this down, kind of visualize on how that's going to look. And then third step, map out your environment. Like, where do I want to live? Do I want to live in the same city I grew up in? Or maybe do I want to, live in Spain or some tropical country? I live in Sweden. It's pretty cold there during the winters. I'm probably not going to live here in the future, I can tell you that. But it's like, where do you want to live in the future, right? And then it's like, okay, I want to live here, 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 here. Because what you're doing here subconsciously is that you're mapping out goals. And most of us have dreams. Because a goal is something that we work towards. And I think that the goal and dream thing has been destroyed by social media because we see so many people talking about goals and no one achieves them. So we kind of think that goals and dreams are the same thing, but they're not. And I want you to understand that. Map these things out and you have created your new identity, the person that we are going to be. Now I'm going to tell you step number 2. But before that, I'm going to tell you my second favorite quote. If you don't know how to swim, don't jump into the water because you're going to drown. If you have no prior experience when it comes to building a new life, starting something online, or pursuing the things that you want to pursue, you need to learn. You need to have a learning phase. You need to learn how to swim before you actually jump into the water and swim to the island that you want to have. So, if we go back to your identity, the writing board, the board that you just created, you had mapped out some things, right? You had mapped out that you want to be a business owner. The business model that you chose, do you know anything about it? And if that's a no, then you know what you're going to learn. You got to learn about that business model. And when you take a time period, maybe it's 1 month, 2 months, learning about this, business model. And in the operator, we have a learning phase, a video about that, and you can learn everything about what you should think about when you're doing your learning phase. But take 2 months to learn about the thing that you want to do. And then after those 2 months, you start pursuing them. In every business model, you have 3 steps. You have the marketing, you have the sales, and you have the fulfillment. Regardless of what business model you choose, that's always how it is. So what I would recommend you guys at home to do is learn about marketing, learn about sales, and not fulfillment. Not yet. Learn about human psychology. That's the secret, because human psychology goes beyond both of them. Because if you can understand the human need, how we humans operate, what hormones are produced when we say certain things, dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, adrenaline, cortisol, if you can understand these things, then business is going to be extremely easy, right? Especially when it comes to marketing and sales. Fulfillment, you're going to learn that depending on what business model you pick. I'm not going to dive into that. Now, if this video helped you, please like, please subscribe, leave a comment, stay sexy, have a great time, and also comment who are you supporting this World Cup. It's France, Morocco today. I'm an England supporter, so England's going to win. It's coming home, guys. That's all I'm telling you. But put down in the comments, who do you think is going to win the World Cup? And stay sexy. Hope this video helped you. Like, subscribe, and check out my links. See you, cunts.